welcome back to the channel. This is the 2024 season finale for VDCA at Roebling Road Raceway. This is our first race of the weekend. We've had qualifying and a practice before that. This is at Roebling Road Raceway. I'm going to go ahead. You see them on your screen now. I'm listing my gear ratios. I've run a little bit different gear ratios here than most people, but this closer box seems to work better around the track for me. So I thought I'd give you that info. This first lap, we're just trying to get a little bit of heat in the tires if we can, and just get a feel of what grip's out there. So I'm gonna let y'all ride along for the whole pace lap here. Trey Dusick has got the pole. He's an amazing driver and put in some really, really good qualifying runs there Friday afternoon. What we're doing here is he's trying to get a gap. There's a Formula 5000 out here, and there's a couple of 2-liter cars up the road a ways, and so we want to have a split start for the Formula Fords. We have a pretty big field here, so that way everybody can kind of get things sorted out before we start intermingling here. Coming through the carousel here, we'll start to pair up. If you notice from my gear ratios, I'm running a really tall first gear, so I'm going to see if I can coax Trey into a little bit quicker start than we would normally take, because I'm going to be at a disadvantage. So I'm going to see if I can get him to roll this a little bit quicker than we normally would, so that disadvantage is not quite as bad for us. Once we get rolling, we should have a pretty good gear setup in this car. So here we are. We're getting ready to come to the green. We're waiting for it, and there's the green flag right here. You can just see in turn one, you've got that other start that went off ahead of us. I really just want to file in single file here and not have lost too many positions. So old tires don't want to really push anything too hard here. Pretty happy with this. Not going crazy hard here. The track is still pretty. It's fast, but it's not very confidence inspiring with the cold tires, and we really don't know what's going on here. So I just want to keep attached to Trey and make sure I don't get blown around. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but we had a pack of 6 of us up front here that were pretty nose to tail. Where that gear, that extra close box really helps. My car, this is the first chance we've really had to evaluate where our strengths and weaknesses are compared to the rest of the front runners through the weekend. So the line always changes around this track, session to session, and really almost lap to lap, but we're gonna learn something as this race progresses here, and as the track evolves. But I want to see where our car is good compared to the others, and where we've got a bit of a disadvantage, or maybe not as strong. So we'll be able to use that and plan out some moves. It looks like the Merlin here had a mechanical. He was able to catch that right as it was happening, and so came in the pits, rightfully so. Right now we're on a Group 9 car. This is a earlier model Formula Continental. We've already caught up, and he was very nice to give us a point by here and let the pack of Fords go through. Trey's got a pretty good run on me here, so I give him, and he decides not to take it. He was more than welcome to take that, but I appreciate it. So send it back in here and try and set up in a little bit of a rhythm. The tires are up to temperature now. We've got some heat in the oil. We're in a pretty good spot with the water temp as well on the motor. And as we're doing this, you can see a little bit in the mirror. We're also trying to be, it's a little bit harder in front. I'd kind of like these guys to lead here in a little bit. But we're also trying to judge as we're cornering here where these guys are positioning their cars and how close they're getting. Try and maybe establish a different line, see if we can find something we don't know. Turn 9 here, which is this corner, the last corner. This corner really behaved differently than it has in my previous trips. It kind of seemed like you couldn't ever turn in early enough for that corner, and it really became more apparent as the weekend went on. And the later you got in the day, we were running with the BMW group as well, and those big heavy cars, they were really throwing some marbles on the outside lane there. Later in the day, you'll see that in the next 2 races. But to stay out of that, it really made a difference to turn it early. And you see, turn 4 there, I wasn't taking it the same way I end up changing it till later in the weekend, but we're already starting to get a little bit of a feel. I'm strong in turn 4. This carousel right here, I'm not as good as the other competitors. You can see Trey will close right up on me there. But the last corner here, I've got a really good setup, and my car seems to be the strongest corner for me on the whole track. There's some others that are kind of neutral, but we had a debris flag out. I think there was a cone down there on pit exit. So far we're out front. We're not really running in killer laps. We're quick, but we're trying to just eat up race time and conserve our equipment. Maybe get this front group to separate, so you want to be quick enough where we can separate from the rest of the pack, but also not so quick that we're eating up our equipment early in the race. So we can see there's a 2-liter sports racer. It's a little up there, so we want to just kind of keep that in mind. It's going to take a while to catch, but that car is going to be much faster than us on the straightaways and in the fast sections. So we may get an advantage if we're first through there, but we really don't want to hit him at the wrong part of the track, because we could also have a real competitive disadvantage if that closes the gap. Again, Trey had a run, pointed him by. He didn't want to take it. Tim double passed us, which was a really good, smart move. So I'm very happy to let him do a little bit of leading here and set the pace. And we'll get some recon in here. We're about the same through turn 3. Tim's a really skilled and very tactically smart driver. He's been running this Crosley for the first time this season, and it seems to suit him really well. Getting our first lap traffic cars here. Driver was aware, left us plenty of room. And even though we're stronger than the sports racer here, it's really in an area where we're likely to get past him. It's a quicker section of the track. Again, lap traffic through here. So we're all kind of going a little bit slower. Everybody's through. The 2-liter car is probably going to take off on us here. Alright, I'm going to see if I can use this. Be the first one through and maybe use it as a pick. Side by side in one. Tim backs off. We got plenty of room here. See if we get a chance to gap the field here. Quicker through 3. He's protecting. Let's send it around the outside. This is where we want to be. This is where we might be able to trap Tim behind. He went, but it slowed him up a little bit. So if I don't lose too much time in the carousel here to Tim, I might be able to be just outside of draft range. Tim took that a little better than I did. So we're sending it pretty hot here, hoping we can keep this gap. You can see Tim got the draft, so that didn't work. We're going to give him that. And I can't tell who's behind me at this stage. If that's Trey or if this is Doug Neese, who's incredibly fast at this track. Starting to look. I still can't tell if that's a Red Lola or the Palisar Winkleman. Missed my downshift a little bit there. For early in the day, the track's pretty good, but it doesn't feel good. You can see Trey is much faster than I am through the carousel. He may be, we'll see as the weekend progresses, he may be the fastest guy through the carousel. Easily a couple tenths faster than I am. Good run. Give him that. Let's do some recon here. See how he handles Tim. We might be able to take advantage of some stuff. There's Doug in the mirror there, so I think it's 4 of us in this lead pack. This is a very fast track. The average speed here is about 95 miles an hour in these cars for a lap, which is much faster than a track like VIR. I think we're about 90 miles an hour at VIR or something like that. So that was my air cleaner that came on. I used the wrong size zip tie, and yeah, so it's a souvenir for somebody, maybe at the trash can. You get a big toe here. There's a huge hole in the air coming up on lap cars, so Trey wisely just kind of tucked back in here, and we're just going to get through as a group and then continue racing afterwards. Alright, Doug's through 2. We're pretty good through this section compared to our competition, so probably not an area we'll be able to make a pass, but it may be an area we're able to extend a gap or make up time if we need to. And this right here is our weak section. Just can't that mid corner, I'm just struggling a little bit. It's all right. We got it here. See how early we're going? I mean, we are entering the corner on the pit access. Got a great toe here. We're going to go for the double. We got it done right there. Car's doing a better job rotating here into two. In past races, that's been a weak point. This track, it changes, the groove of the track really changes lap to lap, so you'll see some kind of small catches, but a lot of this moving my hands, much of it is just kind of feeling where the grip or I guess the cushion is of the track. It's the white flag. We got one to go here, which you really don't want to be in the lead, but we've got maybe a little bit of a gap. They're going side by side. Let's see if we can use that to our advantage through here. Tim got through cleanly. It's probably going to be a race to the stripe, so we got to make up what we can here in turn 3 and 4, because we know Tim's going to be real quick in 6 and 7, and hopefully we can keep it together and come ahead of the line. Got a lap car up there. Don't know if it's going to play into the finish yet. Looks like we've got a couple. Now it looks like we're definitely going to catch them. So this could spell disaster for us. All right, we got through clean there. That was important. Didn't get held up too much at the exit there. All right, and that's a P1. Thanks for riding along.